G'day, this is Anthony Boardman. I'm doing my advanced diploma in fitness with FIA Fitnation. Today I've got Sam here with me. Sam is going to be doing our movement assessment. Now with this, what I'd like to explain we're doing, now we're going to be doing a variation on some of the FMS assessments. We're going to be doing a squat, we're going to be doing a inline lunge, we're going to be doing a push, a pull and a rotary stability movement. With that, we're also going to look at his active straight leg raise and a couple of other different movements there. So what we're breaking this down to is this is a technique that I was able to learn from Andrew Reid and also from Lee Burton. Andrew Reid is the master instructor for FMS based down in Melbourne, but he travels all around Australia to do all the assessments, and Lee Burton is pretty much Greg Cook's right-hand man in the States. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the movements and we're going to ask the athlete to go through it for 3 times, and we're going to make our assessment as 3 imperfect, 2 as competent, 1 as in completes the movement but does it imperfectly or with issue, and 0 is with pain or cannot complete the movement. With that, we're going to ask the athlete to go through 1 time without coaching but with a direct cue. The second time we go through the movement, we're going to go through and we're going to give the athlete coaching to find out if they're capable of the movement with coaching. So as opposed to, let's see how they move, and then now let's see if they're coachable and if they're competent in a movement. With that, we're going to go through the movements, and if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to email me, or please feel free to let me know on my submission. But the first movement we're going to be doing here with Sam's going to go through initially with his squat assessment. So I'm just going to break it down for you. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the submission. Excellent. So Sam, stepping back, I'm just going to get you from here behind the line. Now the first thing what I'm going to get you to do, we are going to start with the barbell. So from here, I'll just get you to take the barbell. What I'd love you to do is I want you to take it over the back, so from here, and what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get to the point where from here we can create a right angle. So take the right hand out just a little bit further, a little bit further in. Excellent, just to that knurling. Excellent, the same thing on this point. Perfect. From here we're going to take a nice big deep breath. I'm going to get you to press both hands overhead. Excellent. So from here we're in our overhead squat position, and I'd love you to just go for 3 overhead squats. Beautiful. From here, Sam, what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm just going to get you to raise your heels. So lifting the heels, so there's 1 and there's 2. Perfect. From here, so I've just raised Sam's heels just an inch from here, and we're going to ask him to do the assessment again. So, and 3 squats. Beautiful. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. From here, Sam, what I'd like you to do, take the barbell back down to the back. Beautiful. Lift the heels again. Excellent. And from here, I'll just get 3 squats from you. So with that, what we saw, we had Sam doing the overhead assessment. We're seeing a little bit of pelvic tilt, and we saw a little bit of instability. What we then did is we placed the risers underneath Sam's back heels, and we're able to get him to then do the overhead squat with the heels raised. We then, for consistency, we took the bar down onto the back to see how Sam did with his movement with the squat with a flat heel, and with that, we saw a success. So we're scoring that 1 and 2. From here, Sam, I'm going to take the barbell from you. So thank you. Beautiful. All right, from here, what we're going to go into is we're going to go into our shoulder assessment. So the first thing that what we're going to do for shoulder mobility, I'm going to ask Sam to take his right hand and just place it on his left shoulder. From here, by keeping the palm on the ground, I'm just going to get Sam to lift his elbow just as high as he can while keeping the palm on the ground, on their shoulder. Excellent, bring it down. Beautiful, 1 more time. Beautiful. Sam, is there any pain in that? No. Excellent, so we displayed no pain. Could I get you to do the same thing on the other side? Beautiful, and up and down. Up and down. Beautiful. So Sam, are you right or left-handed? Right. Right-handed. Could I just get you to place your palm out from here? Perfect. So from here to here. Excellent. Perfect. So a little bit wider than my hand. What I get you to do, Sam, I'm going to get you from here looking straight forward. I'll get your feet together. Excellent. From here, I'm going to get you to take your arms out to the side. Beautiful. We're going to go palms up. Beautiful. I'll get you to place your thumb inside the palm. Beautiful. Squeeze the fist. Beautiful. And I'm going to get you to take this hand over the top and this hand underneath. And without flaring your ribs, I just want you to bring your hands as close as you can together. one more time. Excellent, lovely. So from here, get you to reset, so hands out, and then bring it on in, and we'll go on to the other side. Okay, excellent, and one more time. Beautiful, one more. Perfect, and relax. Beautiful. So with that, with the shoulder mobility, we displayed no pain for Sam, but on looking at his shoulder mobility, when the right hand went over the top and the left hand went underneath, with that, we have what we would call a 3. We saw that his hands were within the distance of what was his palm to fingertip, but then when he went left hand over the top and right hand underneath, we saw that there was nearly a double discrepancy through there. So basically what we would see there, that gets marked as a 2 because we're through there. It was like from the palm, or the crease of the palm to the fingertip, and then half of that again. So with that, we're able to see that it's longer than his hand, so that marks our 2. So, and we scale down, so even though you got a 3 on one side and got a 2 on the other, it comes down to a 2. And what we do is we just mark that there was a discrepancy between the two movements. From here, Sam, I'm just going to get you to lie down on the ground. So if I could get your feet pointing that way. Perfect. So here, and legs long. Beautiful, feet together. Perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the crease for Sam. So from the top of the knee to his hip, just through there. Beautiful. I'm going to mark it there. Now feet together, Sam. Beautiful. And what I'd love you to ask you to do is, from here, we're going to raise your left leg as high as possible. So, beautiful. And 2 more times. Beautiful. Excellent. Love it. And from here, I'll get that left leg again. Beautiful. Nice. And relax. So from here, what we're going to do now is now onto the right leg. Right leg one more time. Beautiful. Excellent. And relax. So we just did Sam's active straight leg raise. So finding the point between the hip and the knee where we found the midpoint. Sam actually has the range of motion to be able to get to that point, but we saw a couple of compensations. On the left-hand side, when the left leg was coming up, the right foot turned a little bit, and then we also saw that there was a slight bend in the knee. When we went down to the mark of 2 for the point of the knee, when Sam's leg went up, we saw that it stayed straight and there was no compensation once the heel got past there. The same thing occurred on the other side. So with that, we're going to say that that's a 2-2 on both sides. From Sam, I'm going to get you just to roll over, so roll this way, and you're just going to come onto your stomach. Beautiful. And we can see it. I'll get you just to come a little bit closer to me, mate, just so you're in camera view. Beautiful. Nice one. Okay. So what we're going to do now is going to be a trunk stability push-up. So Sam, I'd like you to take your hands directly out in front of you. Beautiful. I'll get you to bring your heels together. Beautiful. Now what I'd love you to do is basically make a U with your hands. So make your thumbs pointing in. Beautiful. And what I'd love you to do is bring those thumbs down towards your temples. Beautiful. There you go. So a little bit higher. So just about there. Excellent. So we've got a nice neutral line between the shoulders. We've got the hands basically as antlers. So we're making that position there. Now what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to make your body as one solid core piece. And then from here, lift your elbows off the ground and we're going to drive up. Beautiful. 2 more just like that. Nice. Excellent. Now from here, I'd like you to bring your thumbs down towards your shoulders. Beautiful. And same movement as one piece, just moving on up. Beautiful. And relax. Beautiful. So from there, what we saw is, so for the trunk stability push-up, from here we had the hands at temple level. We saw that there was a little bit of a disconnect and the body moved in a couple of separate pieces. From there we dropped the hands down to below the shoulder and then we were able to complete the movement. We saw that that was a successful movement, so that's a 2 there. From here, Sam, I'd like you to go into what we call a quadruped position. So just wrists underneath the shoulders. Excellent. So with this in an FMS assessment, we'd usually have the board in the middle, but what we're going to do here is we're just going to make sure the thumb is directly underneath the AC joint. So we've got a nice strong line and we're making sure that the knees are directly underneath the hips. So knees a little bit closer, beautiful there. And I'll get you to flex the feet, beautiful. Okay, now Sam. So now in the scaling of a FMS, basically what we see is there's a 3, 2, 1. 3 would be Sam bringing his knee to his elbow after a point on one side. Now basically the guys at FMS, they see that very, very rarely that they get a 3. So they always tell people, it's like, okay, start with the 2, and then if someone's perfect on the 2, they can move up if they like. So what I'm going to ask Sam to do is Sam's going to move his right arm and his left leg. He's going to extend them out in a bird dog position, and then from there he's going to bring his knee and his elbow together, and then he's going to touch and reach again. We're going to do that 3 times. So from here, extend, knee to elbow, and extend. Beautiful. Knee to elbow, beautiful. I'll just get you to reset on this next one. So reset, and then go again. Extend. From here, what I'll get you to do, I'm going to get you to go on the other side. So extend, knee to elbow, and then reach. Yeah. So this next one, same thing. So knee to elbow, and then reach out again. And extend. Yeah. Good job. One more time. Beautiful. So, similar to Sam's shoulder mobility, where the right hand went over the top and left hand went underneath, we had a good 2. When Sam's right hand and left hip went out and came back, we were able to see contact on the knee and a stable torso. When it was the left arm and the right leg going out, we saw that there needed to be spinal flexion, and that we saw that the elbow touched just above the knee, more on the inside of the quad. Okay, from here, how you feeling, mate? All right, excellent, love it. Is there any pain or any discomfort with any of the movements? No worries. So we've done our overhead squat, we've done our shoulder stability and mobility, we've done an active straight leg raise, we've done a trunk stability push-up, we've done a rotary stability. From here, what we're going to do now is we're going to do our inline lunge. So I'll get you to stand on up, mate. Beautiful, so you're going to be facing the camera here. And all I want you to do, so from here I'm going to get you to take your right hand out, and from here your left hand out. The right hand is going to be at the base of the neck, the left hand is going to be at the base of the spine. Now from here I just want you to then step forward, step back. The preparation lunge you're going to do is I just want you from here to bring the knee to the ground, and what we're going to do then is from there I want the feet in line. So that's from there. So if I could get the knee to touch the heel, that'd be fantastic, but I just need them in line. So that's going to be our starting position. Beautiful. So bring the left knee over. Beautiful. Good job. Nice. So you'll see here, now just drive on up. Beautiful. So now Sam's weight is directly over the legs, so we can see there's a good lockout from ankle, knee, hip, torso, looking straight forward, mate. And from here, I'm just going to get you to do 3 lunges. So just bring the knee down and then drive on up. Beautiful. Excellent. Get one more, mate. Nice. Beautiful. Swapping sides. So from here, as the knee goes back, excellent. It's changing over. Excellent. So knee down and then bring that hip over. Beautiful. Excellent. Can we bring that back a little further? Nice. Good job. Stand up tall. Excellent. Good lockout. Ankle, knee, hip, torso. Nice long line. Beautiful. Good job. Very happy with that. And relax, mate. Lunge, squat, through here. The last thing I'm just going to get you to do is from here with this is just an assessment. All I want you to do, hands interlock behind the head. So we're going to go through basically what this movement is our balance movement. So usually if you have an FMS kit, you do what we call a hurdle step, where you'll step over the line and then come back on over. If you don't have an FMS kit available, what we're able to do is we're able to look at basically as a balance. So with this, Sam's got his hands interlocked behind his neck. From here, it's basically in what would be the starting position of a prisoner squat. But from here, I'm going to ask Sam to take a deep breath And all we're going to do is we're just going to measure how long he can balance on one side compared to the other. So in 3 and 2 and 1. So lifting right. Yeah. Excellent. If you could just bring the knee up to so flex it. Beautiful. Nice. Excellent, and relax. So Sam was successful for over 30 seconds. During our review, when watching this tape back, we'll be able to see if there are any major compensations or if there was anything happening on one side. Same thing, nice big deep breath, and then onto the other side. So we saw, and relax back on, sorry mate. So we saw just on the left-hand side, not only did the knee slide in a little more, but we saw a little bit of external rotation of the foot. So that's something we could just take note of, but we were able to see that Sam successfully was able to be able to stand up for 30 seconds on one side. With this, we've got 2 different assessments now that we're going to do with the barbell once again. So with hip, we're going to be doing our overhead press, and then we're also going to be doing our bent over row. So just from a front-on standpoint, I'll just get you from here. Taking the barbell up, I'd just like you to have it so that your thumb is just close to the AC joint. Excellent, perfect. So from here, I'll be looking side-on view, posterior view, and an anterior view. So from here, what we're going to do in 3, 2, 1, and press. Beautiful. And come on down. And 2. Nice. Great. Good job. Nice. And keep it going. And relax. Nice. So that was sort of a good firm lockout, bicep by the ear, and we didn't see too much flaring of the shoulders and things like that. From here, I'll just get you to turn, face the other way. So all I want you to do, we're just going to go into our hinge here. So push the hips back. The main thing I want is I just want that vertical shin. So with that, there's no dramas. Perfect. Excellent. So from here, love you to see just our bent over row, just going full range of motion. Oh, nice. One more, mate. Excellent, mate. Pop the bar down. Love it. Okay, so we've seen that. So that's our full range of movements that we've gone through. We've seen if Sam can go split stance with his lunge. We've seen how his hamstring mobility is with the active straight leg raise. We've seen his upper body push. We've seen his trunk stability. We've seen an overhead push, and we've now seen a row as well. And we've seen him squat in 2 different positions. We've seen him in overhead squat, and we've seen him in just a back squat. Other movements, depending on what your program is you can incorporate a front squat with that, or you could incorporate a goblet squat, depending on what tool you're going to be using. But the main thing for us is we're looking for his mobility, stability, and his range of motion. There's also a couple of other assessments you can do. Some people for a row, they'll incorporate a ring row, or what they'll do is they'll incorporate an eccentric push-up phase where they'll measure over a 5 to a 10 second to see how the eccentric load comes through. What we're going to do now, so there's going to be a couple of movements that we're going to repeat. So the big thing that we're going to do is we're now going to repeat the overhead squat and the squat assessment. The overhead squat, just because Sam was a solid 2 when it came to the overhead squat. And what would be able to do is we want to see if we can get him to a 3, or if it's necessary to get him to a 3. In our programming, we do a lot of pull-ups. We also use the ski erg a lot, and we do a lot of overhead pressing. So I'd like to hopefully get Sam as stable, mobile, and as strong in an overhead position as possible. So Sam, I'll get you to pick up the barbell. And what we're going to do, so I'm going to go through the movement again, but we're going to cue Sam through it to see if he's capable of getting a 3 when we give him the cue. So Sam, I'll just get you from here. Excellent. And what I want to do, taking the hand out to the knee, excellent. Feet just a little wider, excellent. So he's still got his neutral position. So feet are just, his big toe is on the outside of his hip, which is great, so he's in neutral line. From here, I'm going to get you to press overhead. Beautiful. Now the cue I'm going to give you is I want you to bend the bar. So basically we're bending the bar so that elbows point down. Good job. Excellent. Oh, sorry, that way. Well, there it is. Nice. So as we bend those elbows out, nice. So just by giving him the cue of press those elbows out, we've now been able to solidify that overhead position. Those shoulder blades are now gliding back into a more neutral position. Just by giving him that cue, and I'm going to say now start the movement with your hips. So by pushing the barbell out, those elbows out, and taking the hips back, we're going to see, nice, excellent. Push those elbows out and draw back. Nice. There we go. Excellent. One more just like that. Beautiful. Take the barbell down. So now by giving Sam that one cue, we can now see that he is capable with coaching to achieve the position that we need. So in the first assessment without coaching, I would not have given him that clearance to do an overhead squat. But now that we've given him the proper cueing and the proper coaching, we now know that I can mark on his assessment, yes, Sam is capable of an overhead squat position. From here, I'll get you to take the barbell onto the back as well, mate. Perfect. So in the same situation, if Sam had been falling forward in his squat, or Sam had been going into spinal flexion or getting a butt wing, the next cue I'm going to give will hopefully be able to correct that. So for example, Sam, I'll just get you to turn the other way. Beautiful, so facing here. So if Sam was in this position, and you'll see when someone's relaxed, their elbows are very far back and his head's pointing down. What cue I'm going to give him now, because his hands are already in the right position, I'm going to say, bend the bar and bring those elbows forward and looking up. So here, by getting those 3 points of contact, head, shoulders, and hips, now if I was to say, Sam, come down into your squat. Beautiful. So you'll see there, just by giving him the cue of pulling those elbows through, that helps lift the chest, keeps his spine in a neutral position, and draw down again. Nice. Excellent. And relax, mate. So just little cues like that let us know that he is capable of doing that movement, and not so much that if we were in an assessment where he wasn't achieving depth or if he wasn't achieving the movement, without coaching him, I may have scored him down. But now I know that he's in a natural position where he achieves the range of motion and depth, as opposed to how he is when he's coached and when he is aware of what he needs to do to achieve the motion. From here, pop the barbell down. The next movement I'm just going to coach you through is just going to be that trunk stability push-up. So come on down to the ground. Beautiful. So from here, I'm going to get you to bring those hands, just bring them as antlers once again. Beautiful. Now the cue that I'm going to give Sam here, I'm going to get you to flex the feet, so create a nice line of tension. I'm going to get you to squeeze those calves, squeeze those quads, squeeze your glutes, activate your core, lift the elbows off. Now here's one solid piece now. Now when I say now push off the ground, beautiful, come on down, beautiful. And reset, so same thing, flex the feet, squeeze the calves, squeeze the quads, squeeze the glutes, engage the core, lift elbows and drive. Beautiful, and draw down. So we saw in the first rep there was still a little bit of a disconnect. The second rep was much, much better. Now I still wouldn't clear him 100% to give him a 3 for that rotary stability push-up, but when that trunk stability push-up. But what I have seen is that with a little bit of cueing, his form from the first round of reps to his second round of reps improved greatly. So that little bit of cueing lets me know that Sam is capable, and that with coaching he's going to be successful in those movements. I'm going to get you going in that quadruped position now, mate. Beautiful. Same thing, knees a little bit. Excellent, nice. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to be moving this foot and this hand. What I want you to do. Now, I'm going to talk him through this to give him the best opportunity to succeed. I've seen how he moves, and now I want to see how he reacts with coaching. So, from here, we're moving this leg and this arm. I want you to try and take this elbow to the knee, and we'll see how that goes. So go for a full extension, so extend, and then pull in tight and bring everything together. Good, and extend again. Nice, beautiful, come to center. Love it. So with that, between right hand and left leg, still a good point of contact between elbow and knee. Wasn't too much of a difference, but a very, very successful movement. We're now going to go for the other side. This was the side that had the greatest variable. So press this hand into the ground, stay solid here. I'm going to extend on this side and bring elbow to knee. Nice, reach, beautiful. Come down, I'll get that one more time. Once again, keeping nice and still. Imagine you've got a glass of water on your back, and from here. Nice, and relax, beautiful. So, we can see here that we do have a discrepancy in mobility and range of motion between the left and right hand side. But we were able to see that with coaching and with cueing, Sam was able to achieve not only a better range of motion, it was a more slow, controlled movement, and on the second rep, he was able to achieve elbow to knee. On his first attempts, on 3 attempts, he wasn't able to achieve elbow to knee, it was elbow to quad. So from here, I'll get you to stand on up, mate. Beautiful. So with that, what we can see is that with coaching and cueing, Sam was able to achieve different ranges of motion and different results. One of the things that we have to take into consideration when we're doing a movement assessment, we've got to look at a couple of things. Number one, we never want to get to a stage where our athlete or where our client is just passing a test. If we were to start going through and doing the active straight leg raise, or if we were to start doing the overhead squat assessment, where this person was doing it just to get a pass or to try and go through and try and get a number 3, you'll find an athlete might start to brace or might start to build too much tension to the fact of where it's no longer a natural movement. We always wanted to see a natural range of motion. With that, that's why we can sometimes ask an athlete to go through and do the assessment without any cueing. And then if we see that there's potential for improvement, or if we just think that there was an energy leak, or if we think that there was a breakdown in the range of motion or mobility effort, what we can then do is after we've scored, we can come back to that movement and we can say, Sam, what I want you to do is I want you to twist those elbows out, or I want you to bend that bar. I want you to create a little bit of tension and within the bar, and we'll see how that goes. So one of the great things is just by doing that little cue, I was able to take Sam from a program where he would have been doing barbell back squats and barbell front squats, to now suddenly I know that I'm like, hey, with some coaching and cueing, I can then add that overhead squat into Sam's program. This is something we need to do as coaches, and this is something that I'm very, very proud to say that after working with the FMS team, I've been able to incorporate into my programs, and and hopefully my athletes and my clients have been able to see the benefits in. My name is Anthony Boardman. We've been here at my facility at Reunion Training in Potts Point, and I just want to thank you so much for taking time to watch this submission. Thank you for watching my movement assessment, and thank you so much. And a huge thank you to Sam for hanging back after work today and crushing it. So thank you very much, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.